what we could build with you guys. I can say like the interested rates, for example, they went up by 50% throughout all the campaigns that we tried with your suggested approach, right? Our main challenge was that a lot of things that we did on the outreach, or let's say lead generation side, was manual a lot, and also founder-led, so to say. Julian, who's our founder and CEO, was doing a lot of outreach on his own, manually, via emails, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. And the process was not structured that well, so it was very much ad hoc. I would even call it randomly, and whenever we had the time to do that, me and Julian especially, and the whole process was not sustainable, I would say, or not scalable. To start it off with the fact that we could map out the whole market as a first exercise, I think was super valuable to us, to understand, okay, which accounts are we really targeting? And speaking of accounts and of people, that was also very interesting mind shift, let's say, in our internal language and processes, I would say. So really talking about the accounts, not the people, understanding, okay, how big this market is, and actually understanding that it is not such a large market we are approaching. So, and when it comes to the stats, I would say our outreaches that we did before, when it comes to cold outreach, I would say, so really educating, bringing the awareness within the target group, sending out newsletters, those stats were almost zero when it comes to interested people, like really clicking on our content and replying or scheduling a call even with us. It was almost zero. And also the manual, the cold manual outreach via HubSpot that we did was also almost zero. During this cold outreach, let's say, that we did back in the days versus what we have right now, what we could build with you guys, I can say like the interested rates, for example, they went up by 50%, which is great to see throughout all the campaigns that we tried with your suggested approach, right? And from this particular group of people who were interested, out of this, who really scheduled a call with us, a discovery call, for example, it was roughly 20%, which compared to before was zero. So I think that's a very nice result that we could achieve with you guys. Also, when it comes to the messaging, obviously, because we, as I said, we are targeting a very niche market, and also very complex, I would say, structures within those companies. I think what you could provide with different strategies, messaging strategies, different when it comes to the average value that we provide with our tool, right, to those people, and adapting that to our messaging strategy was super valuable, and think it worked much better rather than reaching out to them with a direct sales message. What we did since our collaboration, first we started with a, let's say, general outreach together with your approach. So we just tried out the new approach, but with the same ICP, right? So these large financial institutions still. And what we said, okay, let's find a way or another maybe market even, where we can convert faster and where we can achieve faster sales cycles rather than in the large financial institutions. So what we did, we targeted the mid-market, still financial services, but also enhancing and enriching the financial services industry mid-market with other industries, because we said, okay, let's go like big, really like massive, and target as many industries as possible, cross industry, but just mid-sized companies, and see if those ones pick up better and faster, with the same obviously approach as we did before. So we adapted just slightly our messaging, but the approach was more or less the same. But I think the most important part here is like how fast we could experiment with that. So we run this experiment thanks to you, obviously, thanks to this lead gen system, for I think 12 weeks in total. And we reach out, I think, to 8,000 people, meaning that we couldn't have done this experiment in that such a short time with this big amount of leads without the engine.
Yeah.
So I think it would have taken us much more time, many more months to conclude on this result. And I think this is the most important lesson that we learned. So thanks to that, we can now experiment with things that we couldn't have done in the past. To look into professionalizing this part as soon as you can. Obviously, you cannot know it from the beginning. I think this is something that also we learn for ourselves. But I think just taking these signals as opportunity when they come towards you, right? I think that is super important to accept. I know this challenge, because it is a challenge, because there's so much new content that you need to learn. There are so many tools that you need to operate with to learn. It's a lot. It can be a lot also when it comes to operationalizing it. So a lot of time and efforts go into your day, into your daily activities. I think you need to accept it, because the outcome is actually worth it.